Now let's focus on the next module, which is getting started with AI in Azure. So up to this point, we understood what is AI actually and what kind of workloads are available. In order to understand more about this particular module, I request you to just check out the aka.ms link, which is visible on this particular slide. And that is going to give you a Microsoft Learn reading material associated with this particular module. So just make sure you refer that and you try to read and learn from that as well. Now, let's start with what exactly is Microsoft Azure and how it is offering you these kind of services which are cloud-based and AI associated. Now, if you see right now, definition says that Microsoft Azure is a cloud platform for applications. Yes, you can develop different kind of applications and host it on Microsoft Azure Cloud, same like other cloud providers which are available in the market like GCP, Google Cloud Platform, or AWS, which is Amazon Web Services. Microsoft Azure Cloud is actually going to give you multiple things. If you see this particular slide right now, we have one rootmost thing in the Microsoft Azure Cloud, which is what we know as Tenant. This tenant is basically going to define the organizational security boundaries. If you're working for an organization, think about this, that your organization is always going to have an association with some kind of a domain, like your organization is going to have something.com kind of a domain. When you have also joined the organization, they have added you in that particular organization domain, and that's the reason you're getting your credentials like something@organizationdomain.com, right? Now, same way, the Azure tenant is basically that root level object which associate with the organizational domain. And under this particular tenant, this is going to allow you to store your user ID, your identities for devices, identities for application. Basically, Microsoft Entra ID is going to be working under a particular tenant. If you ask me what is Microsoft Entra ID, well, that is not very much important for this course, but I will answer like Microsoft Entra ID is a cloud-based identity management solution, and that's helping you to manage identities of users, groups, applications, devices, and many more. Under this thing, you have something which is called subscription. What is a subscription? Well, I don't need to explain that thing, I believe, because even if you are not using Azure subscription, I'm sure you're using Netflix subscription. And we know subscriptions are mostly used for a monthly billing boundaries. Same way here also, Azure subscription is allowing you to use Azure cloud resources and services. And using this, you have to pay on a monthly basis. So basically, a subscription is something which is focusing on billing boundaries. And under that subscription, you will be able to create multiple Azure resources. Now, when I say resources, Azure resource can be a database, an application, maybe a virtual network, or maybe some kind of an AI agent. It can be anything. Now, whatever you're creating inside Azure Cloud, that is something which is known as resource. And that's why in between resource and resource subscription, you have something which is called resource group. As you can see here, resource group is nothing but some kind of a logical boundary. That logical boundary is basically going to have multiple resources inside that. Like I'm showing you in the slide that my resource group is having one virtual machine, Microsoft Foundry Project, and some databases of SQL database and some Cosmos DB kind of databases. One resource group can have multiple resources inside that. Now, you can see there is a one centralized icon here, which is a Microsoft Foundry icon. I want you to keep this thing in mind because we are going to use Microsoft Foundry very well in this particular course. And there are chances that your Microsoft Foundry resources are also going to be part of one or other resource group. In order to know more about other fundamentals of Microsoft Azure, I strongly recommend you to check out our website, which is skilltech.club, and you will be able to get a course which is AZ900. If you are zero in Microsoft Azure Cloud Fundamentals, I suggest you to go to check AZ900 course of our website, which is freely available there, and you will be able to understand basics of Microsoft Azure Cloud there. If you're already well versed with fundamentals of Azure Cloud, then let's move ahead with our learning with Microsoft Foundry and AI. The second term which you need to understand is Microsoft Foundry. What is this? Well, definition says that it's a unified platform for AI apps and agent. But if someone asks me, I always say that Microsoft Foundry is one centralized platform which is treating like an agentic factory. Yes, you can develop your generative AI applications and AI agents using Azure Cloud related AI offerings. And that's why I'm calling this thing Agent Factory, because same like a real factory where you develop products, here you can develop agents, you can develop generative AI applications, and that's what this is doing. Now, Foundry is actually having multiple things inside that. As you can see in the slide, when you create a Foundry resource, one Foundry resource can have multiple Foundry projects associated with that. And each Foundry project is going to have multiple agents, models, tools, and knowledge sources associated with that. Now, these four terms are going to be very important for you if you really want to understand Foundry project and Foundry resource properly. Let's start with the first one, which is models. What are the models? At the time of recording of this particular video, Microsoft Foundry is actually offering more than 11,000 plus language models inside that. This includes various open source models from various companies, like you will get a model from Anthropic, you will get Microsoft models, you will also get models from Meta, you will get models from OpenAI. So many models are going to be available. As I said, more than 11,000 plus large language models and small language models are available if you have a Microsoft Foundry project created with that. Using these models, what you can do? You can create agents. When you create an agent, agents are basically some kind of an semi-autonomous entities which are allowing you to plan, take actions, and also retrieve the context from this. In order to do this thing, you can create and manage agents that are using your models as well as the language and other reasoning associated with that. You can ask a question to agent, it will answer. You can ask an agent to perform some task, and it can do it on behalf of you. This kind of multiple agents you can create inside Microsoft Foundry project. And when you're developing agents or when you're creating agents, you will need two things. As you can see, the remaining two things are tools and knowledge. In order to perform some task, your agent needs tools. And in order to give proper answers with accuracy and relevancy, your agent will need some kind of a knowledge source. Both of these things are also something which you can deploy with Microsoft Foundry project. Your tools are going to allow you to associate with your agents. So basically, your agent can perform actions and tasks with the help of these tools only. And then your knowledge source is basically the data source which you want to associate and provide to your agent for a retrieval mechanism using which your agent will be able to gain the knowledge associated with your organization, your products, or maybe your services. Combination of all these things are available inside a Microsoft Foundry project. And that's the reason this is one single platform which is giving you all the things which you need for a modern agentic development. Now let's talk about a third resource which is very important, which is called Microsoft Foundry Endpoint. You need to understand this thing very well, because most of the time when you are focusing on the word called endpoint, I always say the endpoint is an entry point for models and services. Now think about this scenario, that your Microsoft Foundry models, which are more than 11,000 plus models, are available on the Microsoft Azure cloud. It's already available inside the cloud resources. And if you want to use that, how you're going to connect with that, how you're going to access that in your own application. Now, as you can see on the slide, assume that you have some kind of a client-side application, which maybe you want to develop as an agent or maybe a website or something like that. When you are trying to access this models logic associated with that, Microsoft Foundry endpoint is going to provide an HTTP and REST-based endpoint available to you. This URL, which is going to be available with this HTTP and REST-based endpoint, you will be able to access it with some kind of a secure token. So you have to also provide an authentication token, which is mostly associated with Microsoft Entra ID or some kind of an authorization API key associated with that. You try to associate with the endpoint, you provide the authentication token so that you can verify that you are a valid authenticated user. And after this endpoints are going to expose data in a form of REST. It's going to give you JSON specific data, which you can do different operations like get, post, put, delete kind of operations. And if you do not want to use this thing as a REST API, then you will be able to use it without REST API calls using SDKs which are available with this. Remember, Microsoft Foundry is actually offering multiple software development kit SDKs, which are allowing you to use this endpoint specific development of your AI agents and generative AI applications without even writing a code of API. So yes, there was a traditional way where we used to use a REST API calls manually, and we try to perform get, post, put, and delete kind of operations. But in modern days, when developers want to develop AI agents and applications with AI, they are using this kind of SDKs. At the part of this particular course, we will be using something which is called Microsoft Foundry SDK, which is basically an SDK available within Microsoft Foundry itself. You also have some other SDKs and frameworks available, like there is something called Microsoft Agent Framework that is also fully compatible and supported with Microsoft Foundry Portal. Now, It's your choice whether you want to use REST API based on these endpoints or you want to associate with the SDK. Whichever way you prefer, you will be able to develop agents and applications, and you'll be able to use Microsoft Foundry resources with that. Now, with this module is also coming to an end, and that's why I have a knowledge check option available. Just pause this video right now, and you can check which knowledge check option you want to associate with this. Let me ask the first question. How does Microsoft Foundry relate to Azure? How does these two are actually related or connected? What do you think? Which can be the right answer from this options? Do let me know. Fine. I think if you have decided, let's check the answer. The correct answer is Foundry is built on top of Azure and use Azure resources such as compute, networking, identity, and security to host and operate AI application. So whenever you create any projects or resource in Foundry portal, ultimately those resources are getting created in the Azure portal, Azure cloud. Next question. Which statement best describes how keys, secrets, and endpoints work together in Azure-based AI application? Now, this is talking about the endpoint-specific executional code. Again, I'm pausing a video. You also do that. And then after this, you are going to get the answer. The right answer for this is the endpoint is a URL for calling a deployed model, and the key authenticate the request made to that particular endpoint. And that's what I explained just before one slide. So I hope you know that. That's it for this particular module. I'll see you in the next module, but before that, you have to see the lab of this particular module. So just make sure you watch all the lab videos. If you have a subscription of Azure with you, I strongly recommend you to try all the labs of these courses to get a proper knowledge from this one, to get 100% from this particular course. And if you are looking for AI-901 labs, we provide that as well on the chargeable basis. So you can just connect to us on our website called skilltech.club, and you can just connect with WhatsApp on this. You will be able to connect with us, and we will be more than happy to help you with the AI-901 labs. But remember, these labs are not free, so you have to pay for that. So either you should have a subscription to perform the lab, or you are just going to try the labs with this kind of a labs which we can provide to you. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.